Red Dwarf, The Promised Land, it was an absolutely fantastic spectacle. A Red Dwarf feature-length episode. Absolutely brilliant to watch Red Dwarf like it's a movie. Now, I've been nerding out on this one quite severely lately, so here's 50 things you might not have noticed from Red Dwarf, The Promised Land. The first character that we meet is the Feral King, played by Ray Fearon. Now, what you might not know is that those gold fangs you see are made of real solid gold. Check out the accompanying documentary if you want to find out more. Brother Soul, the first of the good cats that we meet, has got a cigarette sticking out of his ear, in reference to one tiny little moment of Lister sticking a cigarette in his ear back in the very first series. Unlike the Cat Holy book that we saw back in Series 1, this one has got far more detailed pictures which actually look a lot more like Craig Charles, including the famous dreadlocks. They've now appeared. Here's one we're going to keep coming back to. The King's claws seem to be offset. On one hand, they're between the first, second and third fingers. On the other hand, they're between the second, third and fourth. Egyptian-style statues in honour of Anubis. The Feral King, having big crazy hair, was the costume department's attempt to make him look like an evolved Persian cat. We see some more of the good cats, and if you look very carefully, those strange necklaces they're wearing are made out of beer bottle caps. Just the sort of rubbish that Lister might enjoy wearing. On to Red Dwarf now, we first meet everyone's favourite slob, David Lister, who happens to be singing the Om Song. In the sleeping quarters, we see a skeleton looking rather like those skeletons we saw right back in Season 2, Crichton, where they still had their hair on. A great little nod back to Season 2. Lister seems to have a new guitar with just two knobs, matte paint and a flat top. I loved seeing the beer bottle and the trolley change holder. If we listen carefully to the SOS received from the fleeing cats, they do, very briefly at the end, mention that they're taking refuge on the Iron Star. Something that will become very relevant in about 2 minutes' time.
On a transport vessel called the Iron Star, please help her.
Rimmer introduces himself not as a second technician, but as a first to Holly. Whether this is a joke, an attempt to self-promote, or there's something happened between Season 12 and now, I don't know, but for some reason, he's now calling himself a first tech. The cat's wearing some blue overalls to pretend to do some work. We've seen him wear blue overalls before, back in the episode Queeg. Dave comes up with a plan to chase and catch up with the cat ship which passed them a few days ago. 3 months later, when this still hasn't worked, the guys are blaming Dave for this mistake. However, as mentioned before, if Rimmer had just listened a bit more carefully to the cat's SOS message, he would have heard that they're hiding out on the Iron Star. So really, this 3 months of pointless chasing is really Rimmer's fault. While we're all distracted with the crazy hair and beards, notice that the cat's shiny jacket has appeared. It wasn't there when they first went on to Starbug, so he has made it from this particular Starbug's parachutes during the 3 months they were away. An important detail that reveals exactly why it's this Starbug's parachutes that he used to make his jacket. The cat's helmet looks really misted up. If you watch the deleted scenes, you'll find out this is because the environmental controls in this suit are broken. It passes by quick, but there's what we must assume is the Iron Star's ship logo on the right. Despite not having bothered for the last 3 months on Starbug, suddenly the boys have shaved. As Rimmer goes through his various outfits from previous seasons, we see a second technician badge on the very first one, putting him back to the rank he should be. The cat's referred to the Book of Smeg, so finally, it seems we have a name for the cat Bible. When the cat starts singing, they sing about David Cloyster, so although they've got his second name wrong, they've always known his first name. Despite seemingly having walked quite a long way, if you look carefully, the hologram room is right behind Lister, just lit in blue. The cat goons show their claws to threaten our heroes, and at this point it's unclear whether this is actually a part of their body that pops out, or whether it's some sort of weapon made to look like organic claws. However, if you watch the deleted scenes, you'll see that the cat has its own set of perhaps slightly over-manicured claws, implying that they are indeed organic, coming from their bodies. Sticking with claws, the Feral King seems to have got them on the right fingers this time, with both hands matching. I love seeing that Starbug's still got a generic cigarette lighter attachment like we have now for our cars. Good to see that my phone charger is still going to be useful in 3 million years. We see a cheeky bit of recycled footage, which was last used in the episode Give and Take from Series 11. Starbug separates into different modules. Now, to a lot of people, this will be the first time they've seen it. However, if you've seen the extended director's cut version of the episode Tika to Ride from Series 7, then you'll have seen this before. However, back then, thanks to some strange, timey, paradoxy sci-fi smeg, Starbug was a lot bigger. I love seeing that the Starbug owner's manual looked just like a Haynes manual. We now get the payoff for seeing the cat's jacket appear earlier in the show. As it turns out, he's used the main parachute from Starbug. Convenient fire extinguishers appear from nowhere. Quite incredible detail from the props department to see that the Haynes manual diagrams do actually match the panel that's in Starbug. Top marks to the props department there. Good to see that the elastic hasn't snapped on these furry dice.
The elastic snapped on the furry dice.
How'd those microphones get there? Craig Charles slightly breaking character and smirking. Conveniently placed bazooka appears. The Red Dwarf crew still haven't met anyone who can shoot straight.
What? You never meet anyone who can shoot straight.
Not for the first time we see one of Crichton's eyes being put to good use. The cat gives us a great Hammond Organ reference. It looks like Holly might be running on Windows XP, that explains a lot. Having been converted earlier, once again the cat is singing Lister Lister as he follows everybody out of Starbug. Feral King's claws seem to have changed knuckles again. The 14B straw reference takes us right back to the first few seconds of the first ever episode. Brilliant. Hold on a sec, is that the handle for those claws? The Feral King says that the cat used to have crazy teeth and mad hair. We've seen this before, Dwayne Dibley. The cat starts to mention Backwards World, and we of course all know this is that famous in the bushes moment. Rimmer, as a ball of light, flies through Red Dwarf at super speed and passes corridor 298/35, the same corridor that Lister was walking down with his trolley of rubbish earlier in the show. So the cats must have placed the bomb right outside of Lister's sleeping quarters. Showing that he's starting to lose faith in Dave, Brother Soul refers to Lister as Lister, not the Holy Poppadom. It didn't take Dave long to fall off the wagon as he shows up, clutching a beer. Sister Luna refers to Lister as Brother, making him equal with her. And last but not least, as the cat ships reform into the shape of a H to honour Rimmer, watch carefully because you'll see Starbug exit to the left of screen. Well, there you go people, there's a bunch of stuff you may or may not have noticed from watching The Promised Land. Alright dudes, thank you so much for watching. This is a new channel, but I'm filling it with content as quick as I can. So if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, then why not hit that subscribe button so you'll know when the next video is out. And if you want to have even more detail of when things are out, hit the bell icon as well. If you've enjoyed this one, give us a thumbs up. And leave us a comment below of anything you want to say, anything you want to ask, and I will see you next time. Thanks dudes.